All right, guys, welcome to Tuesday's reading lesson. We are going to continue to read My Prairie Year. Once again, part of this will be review, but then today you're also going to be getting into some of the new content as well. As I was preparing this lesson, I thought um, it's kind of interesting. We're reading right now about a family who is having to adjust to a very new place where things are done differently. And I was thinking, right now we're kind of like that. We're having to adjust to different ways of doing things with online school and not being able to go out of the house as much. Um, so I thought it was kind of cool that we're also reading this story, and we might be able to identify a little bit with Eleanor, with maybe some of the feelings she might feel. And you're going to see their family's going to face a lot of hardships. So it can also help to put our circumstances into perspective of, there are definitely hardships with online learning and, having to stay home and not getting to see your friends as much. But we're going to read about some really hard things that Eleanor's family went through. So let's take a look at some of your vocabulary words that you will see in this lesson. We have boisterous. I love that word. If you remember, I think that word sounds like what it means. So based off of that hint, do you remember what boisterous means? All right, we have enormous, incredible, scorch, transfixed, and urgent. Okay, so let's review these very quickly. The guard at the museum told the boisterous students that they would have to leave if they did not behave. All right, do you remember what boisterous means now? All right, boisterous means like really loud, not necessarily out of control, might be, but really loud, somebody who has a lot of energy, who's really noisy. So I want you to think in your head of somebody you know that is boisterous. They have a lot of energy, they can be kind of noisy. Maybe you have a little brother or sister that is very boisterous, especially since they've been kept inside the house. That's boisterous. Then number 2, we have enormous. Ron and Norma ordered an enormous pizza for their party. Enormous, I think you're familiar with that one, has the idea of, something really, really, really big would be enormous. All right, then we have incredible. The Ferris wheel operator at the fair promised the crowd incredible views of the countryside from the top of his ride. All right, incredible has the idea of something that's amazing and wonderful. All right, think of something to you that is incredible. White chocolate and books to me are incredible. All right, amazing, wonderful. All right, then we have scorched. The flames from the burning house scorched the neighbor's garage. All right, scorched means to burn lightly. For example, if you're ironing your shirt and you leave the iron sitting on your shirt while you go get a drink, you're probably going to come back and find that your shirt has a scorch mark from the iron. You now permanently have an iron mark on your shirt. You might scorch your grilled cheese. You're making a grilled cheese for lunch. You walk away for a minute and you come back and you flip it over and it's starting to turn black on the other side. You might say that you scorched your grilled cheese. All right, then we have transfixed. The first time I saw Niagara Falls, I stood transfixed by the power of the rushing water, said Fred. Transfixed has the idea of like you can't even move because either you're so shocked or maybe scared or maybe excited. We might say that Max and Stefan were transfixed by the newest model of the motocross bike that was sitting on their porch, right? They can't even move because it's like, whoa, this is awesome. So that is the idea of transfixed. Right, and the last word we have is urgently. The pilot urgently asked the passengers if there was a doctor on the plane. If the pilot is asking passengers if there's a doctor on the plane, how do you think he's asking? It's something that needs to happen right away, right? If something is urgent, it's not like, oh, by the way, any any doctors on this plane? We've got a slight medical emergency. No, urgent is like, we need this right now. Is there a doctor? All right, urgent. All right, as you read your story today, you're going to see threshing and plowing mentioned. Those may be unfamiliar terms. So here is a picture of a man who is plowing his fields. All right, you can see the horses are carrying this machine called the plow, and he is working his field, working to get it ready for planting. All right, you'll also see the word threshing, that the group of people will be threshing in the fields. This is after they've already, the wheat has come up and they are trying to separate the wheat and the seeds. So you see an example here of what a threshing machine might look like. All right, so as you read your story today, I want you to read and just notice the different hardships that Eleanor and her family face. Also, be looking for those vocabulary words. See if you can find all 6 of them as you read today. All right, happy reading.